Oh, George, nice to see you. Great result on Saturday. Asked this to the manager. How have you as players reflected on that performance?
I mean, we've not had much time to yet, really, I suppose. We'll probably do some sort of debrief this morning. But yeah, as I say, very good performance. I think the lads are very happy.
And of course, on the back of that Nottingham Forest disappointment but brilliant performance, it perhaps could have gone either way. Were you really pleased with how you as a squad responded?
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing last week. I felt like we did enough to sort of win the game. We certainly had some good chances in extra time. Yeah, so I mean, disappointing not to win, but yeah, to win on Saturday was very important.
It's a tough place to go, isn't it? And they've got some really excellent players, but managed to see the game out and score some great goals in the first half as well.
That's it, yeah. In the first half, we managed to take our chances. Probably had one more chance where we could have scored from and put the game to bed, really. But yeah, I mean, we're very happy. It was a very important win for us in the league. We certainly needed that.
Yeah, because it's been a bit of a tough run in the league, and you do feel like you've got these results in you as a squad. It's just getting them consistently.
Yeah, the performances have been really good. We just not had the results to show for it. So, like I say, Saturday is so important for us. There's certainly some games recently where we could easily have won, or we should have won. So yeah, we definitely needed it.
And in terms of you personally, do you feel like you're in the best form since you've been here at Bristol City?
Yeah, I think I'm playing well. It's a slightly different position that I'm playing in. But yeah, I'm sort of really enjoying it. Playing well, so I just got to keep up the good form really and keep on progressing.
And are you enjoying it under Liam? Do you feel like his ideas are really coming through now and you'll know your jobs and what you need to do?
Yeah, I think that was always sort of going to take time. But yeah, as players, we're all sort of still learning and still understanding our roles. But yeah, I'm certainly feeling good in that position and enjoying playing there.
And it was a tough trip on Saturday, but perhaps an even tougher test on Tuesday on a long unbeaten run Southampton. Do you look at that game any differently?
I think tactically it'll be a bit of a different game. Southampton, obviously a very possession-based team, so it'll be a tough task. Obviously, like you say, they're on a 20-game unbeaten run or whatever it is, so they're playing really well, so it's going to be tough. I think we just need to be positive about going into the game. We've played really well against some of the top teams in the league recently, so you know, we've got to be confident going into it.
They score a lot of goals, they've got a lot of firepower. Is he going to approach it differently defensively, or is it about taking the game to them because you're at home?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, they have a lot of possession. We're going to have to be really sort of resilient with the block and out of possession, and we've got to be very switched on. They have some really good forward players, so yeah, it's going to be difficult. Probably a similar game to what it was at their place last time. We managed to cause them problems on the counter-attack a few times. So it's just about taking those chances when they come and yeah, playing well and being confident.
And have you got to take confidence from the fact they were very much in the game at their place earlier in the season? Of course, they conceded 3 at the weekend as well.
Well, that's it, yeah. You can certainly break them down. So yeah, we've just got to focus on us and playing well. I'm sure we've not scored that many goals of late, but scored 2 at the weekend, so we just got to take our chances.
And after that long trip to Middlesbrough, how pleased are you to have 2 home games in a row?
Yeah, it's nice. It feels like we've been travelling all over the place recently, so yeah, it's nice to have 2 home games.
Thanks for your time, good luck.
Thank you.
Sorry to bring it up, but I've got to ask you, but I've only just considered this. Wednesday must have been really tough for you, because obviously Man United, the prospect of Man United and your kind of personal connect, like, did that resonate with you a little bit more? I know it's not about you necessarily, but was that tough?
I mean, I was sort of thinking about it. It would have been great playing against United. It would have been such a big occasion. But look, these things happen, don't they? It would have been nice to play against them, but you know, it's disappointing. But we move on.
Do you, as player, and you maybe different. Like, how do you kind of get over that sort of disappointment? Like, what do you do in terms of your process to get over it? Or does it happen quite naturally?
I think it's natural. I think just because we've got so many games coming up, we just naturally just focus on the next game. Sort of do a little bit of a debrief the sort of day after and what went right, what sort of went wrong. And then, the focus is purely on the next game, so you can sort of move on quite quickly.
Quite a few. The performance at Forest was obviously excellent, and ultimately did deserve a result. And then you kind of carry that into Middlesbrough as well. I spoke to Rob Dickey after the Forest game, and he said some of it was kind of a reaction to what happened against Leeds, because you were all kind of collectively very disappointed. If we're kind of boxing Leeds and Southampton and Leicester as like the top team, well, they are the top teams in the Championship.
Yeah.
What do you feel you didn't do well enough against Leeds that you can't get away with doing again tomorrow night?
Well, I think Leeds, we sort of cause a lot of our own problems, I'd say. Leeds are obviously a very good side. They were pressing really well. But yeah, it's just sort of managing regains and giving the ball away in probably silly areas of the pitch didn't help us. So yeah, again, tomorrow that's going to be important, especially Southampton being like a possession-based team. When we get the ball back, we have to regain it to keep the ball. So yeah, that's going to be really important, I'd say.
Could you talk about the second half at Borough and kind of your role within the defence and kind of when you're operating, because you were defending a lot, obviously, because you've played a lot now as Zach, Rob, Cam as a 4.
Yeah.
I mean, if Cam had not been suspended, it would have been at Forest as well. It's like, I don't know how many games it is, sort of 15, 20 games, something like that. Do you feel like a real chemistry and relationship with those guys?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, we've played loads of games together, especially my partnership with Zach being directly next to him. You know, I feel like we play really well together. We know when we should be sort of covering each other and helping each other out. And yeah, we have a really good relationship on the pitch.
Has that, you've kind of noticed that developing? Like how, because obviously watching from afar, like how does it develop? Like what things change? Like, can you describe it in any way?
I think it's just from playing games together. You sort of just naturally get used to what each other do. Yeah, and then over time you sort of form that relationship. Yeah, I mean that's probably it really.
And I guess it bears fruit in situations like it did on Saturday when you're having to maybe sit a little bit deeper than you'd like to, but then that's where the kind of the cohesion comes to the fore.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we certainly helped each other out on the pitch. Me and Zach, well, all the defenders on the team, we had so much to do, a lot of communication. You know, Borough causes a lot of problems with, you know, sort of how they overloaded the middle of the pitch. So it was important for me and Zach knowing when to sort of step in and mark your man and when to cover each other. So yeah, the games like Saturday, it was important that we have a good relationship. And even things like when crosses are coming into the box and he's going up for it, he knows I'll be there to cover him. If he misses it, I can clear it. So yeah, loads of that on Saturday. But yeah, it was a very good performance, very sort of resilient. Yeah, and we're sort of really happy with it.
Because there was one in the first half. I think it was Hackney at the back post, and it was you and Zach together.
Yeah.
Kind of cover. You were there, and he was just behind you, and you came, and then Zach covered across as well, and that's kind of that is evidence of the.
Yeah, I'd say
knowledge.
so. Yeah, I think was it Hackney? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
He sort of pulled off at the back stick. Probably went over my head, but yeah, as you said, he's there to cover for me, and same. In the very last minute of the game, I think Ayling puts a cross in, Zach goes up for the header, he goes over him, and I clear it. You know, it's about having that relationship together. And
like, do you feel if you can? It's maybe hard to think, but like if you can go back, like a chunk of games, I don't know, sort of earlier in the season, do you feel more confident in the system, and do you all feel more confident within the system? Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I'd say so. I don't think it was going to click straight away. I think as a team we're going to progress over time, and the more games we play together, the more sort of we get used to it. But yeah, at the minute I think we all sort of know our roles and are becoming more and more confident with the way we want to play.
Because there's been times this season where perhaps points are thrown away is a bit of a harsh term, but you know what I mean? Well, I guess they have been, there were points that were there, and then in the closing stages of games, it's not quite got done. But Saturday did get done, and is that down to how the defence, in terms of the relationship between you all?
I'd say so, yeah. It also helps that we took our chances in the first half. We've been scoring goals. I think scoring goals recently is a bit of a problem for us. I think the defence generally we've done quite well. But yeah, Saturday, the defending in the second half was so important. Like I said, Middlesbrough causes quite a few problems, especially when we're trying to defend a lead. Yeah, I mean, it was very good.
Looking at the Leeds game as well, there was like a feeling that you kind of wanted. It was indicated that you wanted to kind of see where you were in the hierarchy based on how you played against Leeds, which obviously didn't work out.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same about Southampton, that if you can go and match Southampton, well, hang on about, we are in amongst it here? Is there any kind of
I suppose so, yeah. I mean, it's a good test, isn't it? Leeds obviously a very good team. Southampton are also a very good team. Early on in the season, we played well against them, so we can compete against the top teams. And then we've shown that we can beat the teams in and around us, beating Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Hull. So, tomorrow's going to be tough. But yeah, I certainly believe we can compete with those teams.
What do you think the fundamentals are that you're going to need tomorrow? I appreciate you haven't done the prep and all that kind of stuff, but what are the fundamentals that you're going to need to win the game?
I think, as I said before, Southampton obviously very possession-based, very good at what they do, very efficient. So sort of out of possession is going to be very important, being very switched on. And then the press is going to be important as well. Hopefully we can nick it in areas high up the pitch and then go and cause them problems. And also, like I said before, it's important that when we get the ball that we keep it. And I know the way we play, we can cause team problems with the way we can create chances as well. So look, I think the focus has got to be on us and how we want to play as well.
The manager mentioned the squad, and especially over this busy period, how everyone's kind of had to be ready to come in. Hayden came in, obviously. Kingy came in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Obviously, Corns has played a bit of late as well. Being within the squad, do you kind of feel everyone's unified on the same page? Does it feel a real collective group at the moment?
Yeah, it really does. The lads that haven't played that much and have come into the team have done really well. I think Corns, for example, on Saturday, he was great in the first half, and he's really not played a lot of minutes. So it just goes to show, like, we've got a good group. Everyone's ready to put good performances in. So yeah, there's a real sort of collective, sort of belief within the team, and everyone's ready to do their job when needed.
Has he explained his moustache? Yeah, of course.
Not really, but I mean, I'm a fan of it, so
okay.
He can do his thing, can't he?
What's the like in terms of getting that group dynamic? What's the is there a secret to it? Like, how do you think it's been achieved?
I don't know really. I suppose it's all about the recruitment and what kind of person they bring into the club. We're all really good lads, so we all just get on naturally, I'd say.